Hello, I am so glad to be back on, I guess we call it the Tessa Hill Show. Last week we did it for the first time, a broadcast, and we got lots of wonderful comments. And the main reason that we're here tonight is to talk to some other people about some issues that are very, very important to all of us. But I want to make sure that you remember something. I'm Tessa Hill-Aston. I'm a candidate for the 41st Legislative District, running for House of Delegates. And this is my sign, Tessa Hill-Aston. So make sure you vote for me in the 41st Legislative District, and make sure you vote early voting. And we'll talk about that some more later. But one of the things that's dear to my heart, and one of the things that I've been working on even while I'm campaigning, it just pops up all the time. And it's a good thing, because the more we talk about it, the more we can help returning citizens, because it's very important. And the main thing I want to tell anybody, if you are a family member of someone that's a returning citizen, or if you are a returning citizen, that means you have been in jail, incarcerated, you can vote. I've walked up to so many people and said, are you registered? And they say, no ma'am, because I have been in jail. The law has changed, and you have to make sure that you register to vote, because you can. The day that someone gets out of jail, you can immediately do your voter's registration card and you're eligible to vote. We'll talk more about that, but right now I want to introduce you to a friend of mine who's here to talk about programs that he does, and this is Mr. Marlo Hargrave, who will talk to you more, and so we're going to listen to him for a few minutes. Thank you so much for being here.
It's such a great honor for you to have me, and I am truly what you consider a returning citizen. I know how it feels to be incarcerated, not inside the institution, but institutionalizing my mind by the way I think. The decisions that I made in life. I'm one of those returning citizens who didn't believe that change would ever come about. I was one of those ones who thought that my life would always be an evolving door, back and forwards in prison.
Right.
But by the grace of God, today I am a director of a reentry program, which is an acronym for F.A.C.E, which stands for Freedom Advocates Celebrating Ex-Offenders. Free from incarceration, advocate to be able to speak on the behalf of, and celebrating the fact that we're ex no longer, and simply offenders who have meant and simply done wrong. So a lot of times we change the words, and you mention it so profound that we don't educate people on their rights to know that they can vote.
Yes.
The law has been changed since 2006, when they had 40,000 or so ex-cons to be able to vote. The thing is to know what we're voting for.
That's
to take back our power.
Yes.
To know that we have the right to hold people accountable, not just for what they say when they get in the office, but what they do as well.
To affect all our lives.
Yes, that's important to know that we are human beings too. F.A.C.E has been in existence since 2002. We help ex-offenders not to become re-offenders.
Right, I love that.
And how do we do that? By engaging in them and allow them to be able to use their power, their voice, their decisions, which matters who will be in office. Once we can learn that we have the power to utilize who goes in the office, such as yourself is one,
Thank you.
then we have to know that we have a voice to be able to help you to get in the position to hold you accountable, to help us help ourselves.
Thank you so much, and I'm going to let you say some more. But the thing about it is that this is what we need to hear. You know, I want to be a delegate, I want to represent, but I want to represent people who tell me what they're thinking and what is necessary to do to make them what they want to be, because it's not what I want, it's what we want and what they have been through to educate me to help them. And I want to do that in Annapolis, because I would have Marlo standing with me and telling me what's best for ex-offenders, re-entry, and not to be offenders again. Thank you so much. And I think we have someone else here from your program that's going to speak.
Absolutely. I consider this brother to be the face of F.A.C.E.
Okay.
Me being a director, I can glamorize, so to speak, and make it sound good, with the website being www.facebaltimore.org. But I believe it's more effective and more powerful to have someone who have gone through the F.A.C.E program, who have gone through the penal system, and who have come back and now is a returning citizen, not only talking about what he has done, but also living it to show that people can come back in society and make a great impact in their
Thank
lives
you.
as well.
And I'm not going to ask you your age. I'm not going to ask you how long you were incarcerated, because you look so good and you look like you just started yesterday. And so thank you so much. And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
To
all
God
you
be the
do.
glory.
Thank you so
And I
much.
wish you
Thank
well
you.
in your campaign.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, here we have, and your first name is?
Earl.
Earl.
Yes,
Have
ma'am.
a seat, Earl. This is Earl, and he is a product of the program. So he's going to tell us some of his own personal experiences, and so we can better understand and continue this path of knowledge as we go forth. Thank you, Earl.
Yes, ma'am. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me here.
You're welcome.
And you are the very first politician I ever touched. Yeah,
Well, I'm not one
amazed by
yet.
that.
I'm an advocate, but right, I want to be one.
Yes,
Vote
ma'am.
for Tessa, but
Sure.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll hug everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, get straight to my story. My story is, I stayed locked up a very long time. 47 years, really. I went in 19, came out in my 60s. Now I'm 69 years old, a senior citizen. But I'm just beginning to live life now because thanks to Mr. Hargrove, Mr. Marlowe, and this F.A.C.E program, I'm on my way. I feel strong and I feel powerful. I feel like
Good.
yeah, I'm on the road now, you know. I'm a returning citizen, although I really don't like that term. Like you say, I never went anywhere. I was always a citizen. But I'm an ex-con. I prefer that because that definitely tells who I am, you know. I'm an ex-con. What I really want to say is that life for a returning citizen or ex-con is very, very complicated, especially if you do like a long time. If you do over 20 years and you get out, well, things are entirely different for you now. Things look different, feel different, smell different. You know, at least that's what it was for me. Now that I'm out here in the street, I feel almost free. You know, I feel like freedom is coming. I ain't free yet, but I feel like freedom is coming because I'm taking my time. I'm trying to navigate real good. I'm trying to do what's right. I'm trying to have a good life. I want to be somebody. I want to be something. So therefore, I ain't letting nothing tell me the wrong way. Because I'm the spokesperson for F.A.C.E. Mr. Hargrove gave me that position. You know? So, you know,
It's a good position.
Yeah, you know, yeah, and I'm gonna represent, you know. So that's how I feel, you know. There's nothing on earth for me more exciting now than what I'm doing, helping people. I love to help people.
So how did you get connected with Faces when you first came home?
Well, I was a star in prison. Actually, I was a spokesperson in prison. So when I was ready to get released, the prison officials came to me and said, we got the perfect place we want to send you. We got the perfect program. You'll fit right in. So this guy really could use you. I didn't know Mr. Hargrove,
Okay.
but they did. So they put me on the phone.
So the
with him.
prison
Knew him.
people introduce you to the
Right,
program. Fantastic.
Right, you know.
Fantastic. Now, does that happen often when people being released? They get directed to some programs? Does that happen?
No.
I hadn't heard that before.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Good. So you were around the right people at the right time.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
And it worked out for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's I never been in a transitional program before. I never even been free before. But now that I'm out and in a transitional program, I feel as though these programs or that program is very, very successful because Mr. Hargrove actually care about people. And when you find someone that care about you, it makes you feel a certain kind of way. So Mr. Hargrove care about me, tell me that all the time. So that pumps me up and make me want to be, I'm a giant now.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Yeah, you know, because somebody care about me, you know?
That's right.
Yeah. I came from prison, all my family dead. I couldn't find none of my relatives. So actually, Mr. Hargrove and his friends are my family.
That's right. That's your
you know,
family.
So I just hang there, you know, and try to do what's right. I'm not going to fail. I'm
No.
not going to fall by the wayside.
Fail is not an option.
Not for me.
You know, let me just throw, you said something that really stimulated me. A friend of mine had a friend, and I treated a person who was a returning citizen to a ballet performance that my granddaughter was in one year. And when he came out of the program and I dropped him back off at the halfway house, he turned around and looked at me and said, I've been in jail most of my life. And he said, I'm going to go in and hang this program of this, your granddaughter's ballet performance on my wall. I feel I've been to New York, to Broadway. And this is what he looked at me and said, I'm not going to let nobody steal this joy.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with that saying, because we have to make sure that we don't let anyone else steal our joy. And that's what I see in your face as you talk about faces, as you talk about Mr. Hargrove and what it's doing for you, and now you're going to do it and help others.
Yes, I am.
That's very,
Yes,
very
ma'am.
good. So it's a blessing, and it's a blessing for me to meet you,
Yes, ma'am.
because every time I meet somebody who's a returning citizen that is upbeat, got there and walk right, and doing all the right things to make themselves a happy person, then it's a good thing in my heart, and more people should feel that way. So, you know, I want you to be my friend, because I'm very sincere about this. I think it's great that you're doing it, and I'm so glad I met Mr. Hargrove and that he brought you here with him also, because it's always good to see the face of a person who's actually walking the walk and can talk the talk. So you keep that beautiful smile and keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you want to say before you get off the...
Yes, you're the first politician I ever met. I'm touching you. I'm
Well,
amazed
you
by
can
that,
hug
you
me
know?
all the time. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And you will be back.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
thank you. I'm so happy that, I mean, how much more can this be? It's such a deep thing. All of us should be thinking about returning citizens, because the reason why is because sometimes what we should be doing in our life is trying to prevent some young men, boys, young men, and girls from going. And these are the people that can help, because they've been there, done that, and they're sincere, and they're happy that they can help other people, either if it's a returning citizen or trying to tell someone all the reasons why they shouldn't go. So let's think about that. I know it's in my life every day, so I'm really happy. Well, a couple of people have called in or texted in, and let me see if I can deal with this as I read. Someone named Lizzie wants to know from Park Heights. Yay, Park Heights. We're sitting in Park Heights, y'all. This is 5100 block of Park Heights. I'm on the corner of Park Heights and Belvedere. My church is across the street, and I'm on the opposite end. And so I'm up here every day in this studio, in this building where my office is at 5146 Park Heights. And I feel real good when I get out of my car in the morning and I know the people up and down the street. And I feel real good when I leave at night and they want to know if I need walk to my car. When you meet people and you treat them just like you would want them to treat you, then it's a relationship. So I'm happy. Now, the question that Lizzie has about shopping, how can shopping be better? That is one of the number one things I talk about. I can't do a lot about it now, but if I get elected, it's going to be one of the number one things that I think is important, because we should have the same walking strips that are in other communities, such as Canton or Hamden. Let me just say this. It's no excuse for us not to be able to stroll, walk our families, our dog down the street at nighttime, and not everything closed down with grates. If we do the right thing, we can make it better. We need to enhance the lighting. We need to do more things cosmetically with flowers and decoration, so it'll be inviting to someone. And I don't know you, Lizzie, but if you come meet me, we need to talk about what you see so you can tell me what your thoughts are. Excuse me. But I agree, the shopping should be better because we deserve better. Now we got to get the stores and the owners to think that way, and I have been talking to them. I have a lot of them that agree, so we just got to make it a group effort and work on that. If the Pimlico racetrack gets remodeled, which I hope it does, and if millions and millions of dollars are poured in over there, then there's no excuse that one more block can't be part of it. If that's the anchor, then when you drive to the anchor, you'll be able to walk and drive through here and see this looking so much better for the citizens all over, but especially for the citizens and children who live here. So we can do that as a group and as a commitment to each other. And I will do all in my power to do that. Foster from Howard Park. Lived in Howard Park for 45 years. What can we do about opium? Well, you know what? That's what we're sitting here talking about, drugs. A lot of people have been incarcerated or died or in jail or in the cemetery because of drugs. And we as a family, we as the village need to do something about that and not turn people away with hate. If someone is addicted, then we need to find out how we can get them help with love. I know we turn people away sometimes because we're either afraid of them or they're stolen from their family, but it's a way to help. And we need treatment on demand. People use that word so boldly, but treatment on demand is not really as good as it should be. I've helped so many people to get in drug treatment, and you have to call tonight, you have to call tomorrow, and you have to call sometime for 5 or 6 days before they say there's a bed. And I know some people who have called, and before the 6th or 7th day got there, they either died of an OD, they either went to jail, or they're dead. So we need to make sure that we can do things to help people. Sometimes there's a fee, sometimes there's not. Sometimes people have insurance, they go faster. If you don't have insurance, there's programs all around. But I think the lack of publicity and the lack of PR to get them there. But we need to have everybody. If we make up a pamphlet of resources and you know somebody that cares about somebody that knows that they need help, then we need to make sure we share information, and that's something that's number one, because all the crime, most of it, and deaths and murders is because of drugs. So we need to work on that. It just can't be talked about. We need to do something about it. There's too many meetings, too many committees. Do something. Get up and do something. You can't stay in the house or stay in and talk about it. You can't sit in a meeting and walk out with your pad and pencil. You got to meet the people eye to eye. You got to talk to people like people in faces. You got to work with Safe Streets. We got to work with them where they are and ask them, what can we do to help you? And it will happen. And then they will respect you, and then it won't be as much violence, because when they respect you and you respect them, then the violence will go down, I feel. And I've talked to enough people, I feel comfortable saying that. Why are there so many junkies in my neighborhood? All because of just what I just said. And you know what? Everybody standing on the corner is not junkies. I have walked up and down many a street, Pennsylvania Avenue, Sandtown, Park Heights, Liberty Heights, and some people stand on the corners because they have nowhere to go. They don't have jobs, they're undereducated, underemployed. So we need to do something about that. We just can't call them names and not reach out. Because the way I look at it, and I think everybody should look at it, even if you do it from a distance, if you're afraid to get involved. But the people in the corner are somebody's children. They were birthed by a woman who's a mother. They're somebody's brother or sister. And we need to figure out how to help them. Yes, we call them names, and the names that you hear in the paper, you hear in the media, but they're black people who need help, and we need to show love. And I am very sincere about that, because I've seen the good and the bad and the ugly with the different jobs and things that I've had, and then spending time in the city all my life and working in capacities with helping people. So let's call them somebody who's sick, who has an addiction, but we need to figure out how we can show them love. And if you can't do it, just like you're doing, call and give somebody some advice. You don't, everybody doesn't have the willpower or the drive to just to jump in. I have the willpower and I have some knowledge, but I get more knowledge every day by talking to people. So let's keep working, and please stay in touch. And if you vote for me in early voting or in June the 26th, I know that this is something that I care about. People who know me know I care about it, and I'm not scared to run into it. And I know that the people who have the problem will come to me, because I've been doing it for over 30 years. So please help me get closer to it by having a seat in Annapolis. Thank you. I think it's a couple of other, let me just compliment a very dear friend of mine, Kimberly. Hi, Kim. Madison. You know, how you doing, sweetheart? Wanda Watts, my girl. That's my buddy. I get advice from her all the time. She's wealth of knowledge. So, Wanda, you know what we have to do. Joseph Kane, and let's see. I need volunteers for campaigning and for election day. So if you could give me an hour, give me whatever time, and you can spend time with me and the team that I have put together to help that I get elected and get the votes that's necessary. Now, let me just say something else that's exciting. We have this wonderful campaign office, and I am so happy that I'm in Park Heights. I'm blessed. I tried to find different places all over in the 41st District, and I got lucky, and someone blessed me with information about this location at 5146 Park Heights Avenue at Belvedere. How lucky could I be? We talk about the Preakness, we talk about the Strip, we talk about drugs, and my church is across the street. This is my world, and I'm enjoying it. I walk up and down the street every day. I've seen old friends, and I got a whole bunch of new friends. So we're having a grand opening next Friday evening at 5 o'clock, 5:30 at 5146. Please come by. You can talk to me. You can even talk to my husband, Pittsburgh Joe. And I make sure he doesn't have one of those Steelers clothes. So please come by and see me and the rest of my team at 5146. And thank you for listening in. This is new for me to be doing this kind of show. I have a wonderful campaign manager. I want him to come up because this is his thing, knowing how to do this. It's all new to me. I don't mind talking, but this is exciting. And so I'm glad to see that people are watching and listening. 5146 Parkite Avenue. And now I would like to introduce you to my campaign manager, who also is my technician, and also the man who knows how to do this stuff. This is Mr. Paul Franklin. You want to say something, Paul?
I think I can say something. Good evening, everybody. Tonight, as you see, we've continued on in our campaign of pushing the fact that we are the community. There's nothing more invigorating than knowing that the people representing you are you. Ain't no pretentiousness, ain't no phoniness, and I'm talking real. You know, everyday real. We are just,
Good, I'm sorry.
no, I'm just saying we are everyday people. And guess what? We care about everyday people. We care about, the people that are here. We care about our returning citizens. As you can see how important that is to us. We also care about senior citizens. Everything in this community that needs to be addressed, I guess is the word that I'll use, is that I believe this candidate right here is the best candidate that we have to address those needs. She's been in this industry for 30 years. Don't look like it, but she's been in this for over 30 years. And guess what? She gives her heart. She gives her soul to the community. We're tired of politicians politicking us. No, we don't need to be pimped anymore. We need somebody to come in and help us. So again, I think we ought to have politicians that we can hold accountable. It's not a free ride. We will hold her accountable for the things that we need done in our community. Look at the politicians that we have out there and look at the situation that we are in. Okay? Look at the politicians that are out there. They all been out there a long time, which means they're the reason we're in this situation we're in right now. What have they done to help us? What have they done to help us? They put us in this situation. We need new politicians.
And Paul, thank you for mentioning seniors, because seniors are dear to my heart. I've done so much with ex-offenders, with homeless veterans. I was the team leader to build McVet, I'm happy about. I was the person who did the program for Oasis, which was a program, a house on Falls Gay Street that people could go in while they were still actively being high. So I've worked in all these different things, and I shined at it, and those who know me know, and I'm still friends with all the people who supposed to be my clients. They're not my clients, they're my friends. And so even with senior citizens need attention about their water bills. They need to be safe in their homes. They need to be safe in apartment buildings, and sometimes they're not because things are not done the right way or the words are not shared. So all these things, and just like Paul said, I'm not asking you to return me, I'm asking you to send me. And if someone is a politician that's been in this district and can't come stand on Park Heights, then they're not representing the community, because the community is diverse. Each community, Irvington, Emerson Village, Mount Washington, Roland Park, University Parkway, Howard Park, Ashburn, Park Heights, all these communities are in the 41st, but each one of them is different. And you got to know it. You got to be able to walk in the alleys. You got to be able to walk up the street, and you got to be not afraid to talk to the people where the communities have little issues that you're not used to. You can't go and have coffee and tea in the good neighborhoods and then afraid to talk to the people in Emerson Village at the Village Shopping Center or Park Heights Shopping Center or Kmart Plaza. That's all. I know them well because I shop. I go up and down Belvedere. I shop at Maxway's. I stop up on Park Heights. Yes, I do. And I did it before I was campaigning because the people already know me. That's why I'm welcome here, because they already know me. And I've been going to church here for over 10 years on Park Heights. So people, vote for me. because it's so important to have someone who really cares from the heart. I can walk the walk and talk the talk, and I'm not afraid to stand up and say what I'm thinking about the grassroots people who need attention so we can solve some of these problems. I have 4 grandchildren in the Baltimore City public school system, and I'm not playing about what I'm talking about. There's a video on there right now where I stood up when I was at the NWCP, and I wasn't there for NWCP, and I had to declare that. I was there as a grandmother who cared about my grandson's school. Now, right now, he's sitting here looking at me. Last week, I brought him up here. So, Ron, you want to come up here? Come here, baby. Come here. So the bottom line is that I have granddaughters and grandsons, and I love them all. But I'm going to keep my arms wrapped around my grandson because boys need our attention, and they need our love. And that's what all of us should be doing. If you can't do it, then ask someone to help you. Just like the young mother who asked for help for her son in this tragic situation. We don't want.
We have about 3 minutes left.
Okay, come here, Theron.
In those 3 minutes, though, I want to talk to you a little bit about the greatest generation. All right? This weekend is a Memorial Day weekend. All right? So we want to definitely pay homage to everyone who served in the military and served the country.
Yes.
And to give us the freedoms that we enjoy. I myself is a veteran, and we have the greatest generation. We have the Korean War veterans, the Vietnam veterans, the Gulf War veterans, all the way up till today. Everyone who served, it is a huge sacrifice. I know I spent 15 years of my life in the military serving. So again, I thank you for your service and giving us this opportunity. And I know Tessa want to say something.
Yes,
about that.
and I have lots of people who are involved with me who are ex-offenders, returning citizens, and veterans. And so I'm proud to have all walks of life, and we enjoy the camaraderie that we have. Now, this is my grandson. He's with me all the time in all the meetings that I've been going to for years. And what do you do with me every day?
We do
Okay.
campaign,
And what should they do to get me elected?
vote,
Say vote real loud.
vote,
Say, who should they vote for?
Tessa,
Tessa Hill, say the whole name.
Tessa Hill-Aston.
Aston. Because we're voting for children, your children and mine. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye.
Good job.